Okay, guys, I got a simple one for you today, but it's a very powerful one and you can implement it very quickly. All right. And the core idea is this: focus is a numbers game. Obviously, the more you try to focus on, the less focused you actually are. And so after coaching hundreds of guys, here's what I've seen. Okay. Most people can only go deep on 3 things max at a time before your performance starts to significantly tank. Okay. So what does this mean? Well, basically, I call it the rule of 3, and I don't know if I'm the only one who calls it that. I'm pretty sure it's a thing, okay? The rule of 3, where it's like, as much as possible, you limit things to 3, all right? 1 is even better than 3, but sometimes 1 is just a little too inflexible. So how do I use the rule of 3? I have, for example, 3 priorities per quarter. That's it. I might have more things on the list, but 3 are highlighted, and they are the priorities. Each week, guess what? I create 3 priorities for a week, the top 3 things that I have to get done. If I felt like I was struggling with focus and sustainability on my daily tasks, I would have a top 3 per day. If you're trying to create habit changes, say there's a bunch of habits you want to create, guess how many habits you should change at once? Maximum 3. Okay. Right. And if you're trying to improve some area, maybe it's, I want to improve my rest and recreation. Well, maybe limit it to 3 activities that you could do, that you could choose from, right? Some guys will be like, oh, I'm going to have a list of 20 different things I could do in my downtime. It's like, yeah, good luck with that. You're probably not going to choose any of them, and you're just going to default to the same old bullshit escapism that, you've been struggling with. Pick 3 things and say, I'm going to do one of these 3. When you start applying this rule of 3, and you take it seriously, and it's not easy, all right? Well, that's one of the things I see a lot is that guys, they hate the focus. Guys hate the focus because they want it all at once. And believe me, I know. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to think like, well, maybe if I do 5 or 7, maybe I'll just get lucky and I'll just do it all this time. Maybe I won't just fall off course immediately like I have every single other time I've tried this. All right. So, the reality is like, you got to bring the focus down. And so if you make it almost like I'm going to devote myself to the rule of 3, it might help you. And like, just give it a shot. Okay. I guarantee you, you're going to feel a lot better. And what ends up happening is you can start holding things in your mind, right? You don't need to have some crazy, involved personal development system because, you can remember 3 things. All right. And it makes things just smoother, makes it easier, and it forces you to decide really what's important to you. And that's actually the tricky part, right? Is to decide what is important to me. And eventually, you start running into these issues where you feel like, well, I can't focus. Why not? Because I feel like I'm not good enough if I do less. And that's the big block. That's why people can't focus, is because they feel like they're not good enough if they don't do it all at once. And so if you're running into that problem, you got to connect to your dignity. All right. You got to realize that you're still good. All right. You don't need to have it all done yesterday in order to be at peace with yourself. Okay. So give yourself permission, like, hey, I'm already good. And since I'm already good, I'm going to allow myself to choose a manageable set of foci, limited at 3, so that I can start seeing real progress. Hopefully, I've inspired some of you guys to do this in this video. And if you're having trouble figuring out what your 3 things are, well, I've got a great way for you to find it. And that is, click the link in the description and sign up to take the Frontline Man Score quiz. Because in that quiz, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be laying out what your big energetic bottleneck is, the thing that's keeping you trapped beneath your apex potential. And when you've got that bottleneck outlined for you, it's going to be pretty easy for you to start thinking of the 3 things that are going to really start moving the needle for you. So it just takes like 5 minutes. So just click the link in the description and drop it, and drop your results even in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're dealing with. So that's it for this one. See you guys on the front lines. Ooh, yep.